Hi everyone and welcome to Yorkshire Tea National Cricket Week, and we've got for you today a very special episode of Chance to Shine Live. Today's session is going to be action-packed. Not only have we got some fantastic challenges for you to try out, but we've also got some very special guests to help us along the way. Shortly, we're going to be joined by two England superstars who epitomise what being a modern-day international cricketer is all about. Chris Jordan and Jofra Archer will be with us to provide some expert tips for today's activity, and they'll also be taking part in a question and answer session as we go through. We're also very pleased to be joined live by two schools. We've got Westbourne Primary School in Sussex. Guys, give us a wave and a cheer. And we've also got Maid Park Primary from Bristol, and both schools are going to be taking part and showing their skills and asking some questions. Maid Park, can you give us a cheer and a wave as well? Fantastic. So both schools take part in the Chance to Shine programme, and a big thank you to their local coaches as well. I know we've got Lara and Shazil supporting, and of course the teachers during the session as well. So before we welcome our guests, we're going to explain today's session. We're going to be playing a game called Last Batter Stands. The aim of the game is really simple. As a batter, you've got to try and see how many balls you can last before you lose that final wicket. So think back to Ben Stokes and Jack Leach's heroics at Headingley in 2019, or even further back than that, think about Jimmy Anderson Monty Panesar in Cardiff when they saved the test in the 2009 Ashes. So as we said, your aim is really simple. Don't get out and last as many balls as you can. You can do this activity with a partner, but if you're on your own, like I am, you can use a wall to rebound the ball against. The level of challenge, completely up to you. If you and your partner want to challenge yourselves and use overarm bowling, then absolutely fine. If you want to just use an underarm bowl, that's not a problem either. What we have got as well, and we've been doing this all the way through Yorkshire Tea National Cricket Week, we've got some special prizes linked into our challenges as well. So for schools that are taking part, please make sure you submit your scores on chancetoshine.org/NCW21. And you can also take part in the other activities that are included videos from England women's captain Heather Knight that have taken part during the week. So all of those videos are up there and you can take part in those at any time. But remember, you can keep submitting your scores. So before we get into the first challenge, we're just going to sharpen up our skills for a quick starter activity. All you need to do is to grab a bat, or you can use a book, a frying pan. You can even use your hands if you want, if you haven't got access to something to strike with. You'll need a ball, and either with your partner or a rebound wall, as I'm going to use, you're going to have 2 minutes to practice striking the ball as many times as you can. But remember, we're just looking to defend that ball and be safe in the space that we've got. So I'm just going to do a quick demo of what that might look like. Okay, and pick it back up, and then we go again. So remember, if you are working with your partner, after around about a minute, swap over so that you both get plenty of goes. Right, we've got 2 minutes on the clock. It's our starter activity, and we're going to hand over to you to just have a little bit of practice. So 2 minutes, away you go. Okay, we're seeing Maid Park and Westbourne. So I'm going to go and grab their kit now and get straight into the action. And we'll be joined by our guests very, very shortly. So if you're starting to think about some questions that you'd like to ask, you can put them in the YouTube chat and we'll try and see if we can get through a few at the end. For those who were watching last night, the England T20 team secured their series victory. It was the second game of the series, live on BBC. Some brilliant cricket played. Slightly affected by the weather, but England did a great job in the end. There's some brilliant batting from Sam Billings and Liam Livingston in that game. That's lovely. Got some great skills going on here. You can see Westbourne working in their pairs. Great work. Fantastic. Remember this skill, even though the focus is on the batting, bowlers, you can practice your bowling skills or your underarm throwing skills. Our theme this week is all about teamwork. It's about working together and supporting each other. Got about 40 seconds left of our starter. Last 30 seconds, get as many goes in as we can. Remember, if you're working on your own at home and you're not got something to rebound, you can practice your back taps as well. That was a challenge we did earlier in the week. Last 10 seconds. Excellent. Well done, guys. So if you are at home or at school practicing, we can have a pause there and hopefully you've sharpened up, you're nice and ready to go. So we are going to invite our very special guests into the room now. Joining us this morning, as we mentioned before, we've got Chris Jordan and Jofra Archer. And guys, thank you for joining us. A very warm welcome to you both. And on behalf of Chance to Shine and Yorkshire Tea, what a great privilege it is for us to have two special talents of world cricket with us. Before we get into some more action, we're just going to do a quick introduction. It'd be great to hear a little bit from you. Chris, firstly, as we said, congratulations on the series victory. I know there's still one game left, but a really exciting T20 side to be part of. I know you're live from the team bus this morning. How's the mood in the camp this morning?
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here, spending this time with you guys. Yeah, the mood is pretty good. Obviously, we were able to wrap up a series win yesterday, but obviously it's a 3-match series and we want to make it a clean sweep. So it's important to obviously keep our concentration and try and finish off the job on Saturday.
Brilliant stuff. And Chris, a trio of catches in that first game. I listened back to some of the commentary and Rob Key described you as making fielding and catching in particular look really easy. Is it as easy as you make it look?
I'm not. I wasn't aware I make it look that easy, but no. These things come with some hard work. Fielding is a part of my game that I put in a lot of work on and a lot of hours in, so that when those opportunities do come up in the game, I've already done it over and over in my head, and obviously through a lot of repetition as well. So, yeah, just try to put myself in the best position to help the team out.
Brilliant. As Dan said, this week is all about teamwork. It's all about hard work and getting back to it. So brilliant sort of tips that you've given there for any young person listening in. Jofra, welcome. I'm sure everyone would love to. I know you're not taking part in the series at the moment. Everyone would love to hear how your recovery from injuries going, when you'll be back playing.
Well, I don't know when I'm going to be back yet, but recovery's been going very good actually. Hopefully, I'll be cleared probably in a couple of weeks, but I don't know when my first game back will be.
Brilliant stuff. And what's that involving at the moment? Is it a bit of gym work? Is it a bit of rehab, a bit of physio stuff?
It's been mostly gym. Rehab is actually just doing extra arm work, so I don't really consider it as rehab. But yeah, I've been started bowling about 2 weeks now. So I think started next week. I'll be ramping it up a little bit more. Gradually bowling a bit longer and probably from a bit further back. So yeah, just slow steps for now.
Great stuff. And look, everyone is so excited to see you back bowling very, very soon. Obviously, taking good care of it, all the stuff. Hard work behind the scenes, as Chris mentioned, is really important. So, guys, thank you for those answers. And as I've mentioned before, our theme for National Cricket Week is all about teamwork, connecting with your teammates. And our challenge today, last batter stance, is about doing your best to work with your batting partner, perhaps at the end of the innings, keeping that final wicket. So have you got any advice for our young people watching today on how do you work well with a batting partner? What makes a good batting partnership? Chris, can we go with you first?
Yeah, I think just sticking with the basics as much as possible. Call in nice and loudly when you're running between the wickets. Just trying to make good judgment on singles. When you're coming back for twos, obviously try to turn in such a way that you're keeping your eye on the ball as much as possible. And yeah, just good loud communication is a good signal of when a batting partnership is working well together.
Fantastic. Great stuff, Chris. And Jofra, is there anything you'd like to add in about what makes a good batting partner for you?
Well, usually one that doesn't run you out, like some people. But no, I think one that's willing to run, because usually when I bat, the job is to get as fast runs as possible. So, if you can squeeze a 2 as opposed to squeezing a 1, or, just pressuring the fielders, and you'll always get an extra run here or there.
Brilliant stuff. So thank you guys for those answers. Really great tips. It's all about communication, the running between the wickets. Although we might not necessarily get a chance to do that in our activity today, if you can turn those 1s into 2s, gets that scoreboard ticking over. So brilliant advice there, guys. Thank you very much. Right, we're going to put it back into action again. And thinking about that advice, that communication skills that we've talked about there, we're going to play our first innings. So if you are a bowler, your aim is really simple. Try and get the batters out and try and hit the stumps. Batters, defend those stumps. We're going to give you 3 minutes here, and we want you to try and count your scores. So your score is the amount of balls that you're able to last for before you lose your wicket. If you're working with a partner, remember, have plenty of opportunity to swap over and beat your personal best. Chris and Jofra are going to be keeping a watchful eye on the activity, on the scores on the screen as well, and will help us as we go through. But for now, guys, it's back over to you. 3 minutes, last batter stands, innings number 1. Okay, really excited to see how May Park Primary and Westbourne Primary get on with this one for their activities. Lovely stuff. So the batters are all lined up, bowlers ready to go to take those wickets. Remember, if you are at home and you don't have access to the cricket kit, your tennis balls, your bats, you can actually use a hand for this one. So good to practice. So I'll just show you here, just defending that ball. You can use your hand, you can use a book as well if you want. Just practice that skill there. If you haven't got a set of stumps as well, what else? Have a think about what else you can use as a target. So for me, it's quite a small target, but I might use my water bottle. Or, very handily placed, the Yorkshire Tea boxes can be fantastic as a set of stumps. So pop them down. Bowlers, try and knock those over. Lovely stuff. So watching May Park there, we're going for the attacking approach to this as well. So you don't always have to defend it to keep in, as I think Jofra mentioned his role was to try and score runs quickly towards the end of an inning. So it might be that that's an approach you take. So just over a minute left. Make sure you've had a chance to swap around if you get a chance. Brilliant stuff. So we've got a few having a go over on bowling. So we're going to look at some bowling tips a little bit later. I'm sure Chris and Jofra will have plenty of really great input to give you guys. Great catches being taken as well during the activity. Remember, fielders, you can be a big important part of this. So if you've got a group of you and you want to add a fielder in, your batters, you try and avoid those fielders, keep that ball on the floor. Last 30 seconds. Remember to keep track of your scores as well. What's your personal best? How many balls were you able to last before losing that wicket? Great stuff. Well done, everyone. And hopefully, if you're taking part at school, you got lots of chance to have a good bat there. So, obviously, we've got a scenario here, the last batter stands situation. We're going to kind of ask Jofra and Chris very shortly their insights. So, think about this situation if you're in. What are your tactics going to be? That's what our consideration is here. So, Chris, we'll come to you first. And this time, thinking as a batter. Imagine this was a situation you found yourself in. I'm sure you played so much cricket and last batter stands or final wicket might have been a circumstance you're in. What would your tactics be to make sure you didn't lose that wicket? What would your approach be, Chris?
Well, firstly, obviously, if I was the in batter, I'm trying to farm what we call farming the strike as much as possible. So I'm trying to face as many balls in that over, and depending on where the field is set, trying to pick my areas that I can get my boundaries or I can pick up as many runs as possible, because that's always the aim of the game. Obviously, trying to keep the scoreboard ticking over and getting as many runs as possible. So running between the wickets, again, we talked about communication and partnerships would be very important. So you want to communicate with your partner exactly what the plan is. If you're going to take as many balls in that over as possible, and then you're just trying to pick your boundary areas. Whatever your strength may be, it might be over my wicket, it might be over cover, it might be straight down the ground. But when you get that opportunity, you're really looking to capitalize on it. So initially, that would be my approach.
Brilliant advice, Chris. I love that kind of description of farming the strike. So between you and your batting partner, deciding who might be best to take on most of the strike. It might be that one of you is suited to facing a certain style of bowler. So really, really great guidance given there. Jofra, we're going to ask you to think a little bit as if you were the bowler in this scenario. There's one wicket to take and you had that opportunity to take it. How would you be looking to get the batter out in this situation?
It's going to be the opposite of what CJ said, really. You try to keep the in-straight batter off strike as much as possible. Sometimes you might spread the field, give him one. Sometimes he doesn't take it, but you have to try to lure him into taking it. And you just try to keep the last batter on straight as long as possible. Or like what we do is if obviously the set batter is going to try to get a single off the last ball of the over, and that's probably the most important ball of the all over, really, because you're going to have to try to bowl a dot. So the other bowler from the other end can have as much balls at the new batter as possible. So even if you don't do it, you have to set it up that your teammate can get him on as well, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to get off the field as quickly as possible. So, you got to help everyone so you can help yourself.
Brilliant. I love that. That links perfectly back, doesn't it, to that theme of teamwork. So considering who might the other bowler be at the other end, who do we want on strike, how are we going to communicate with our teammates about where they need to be in the field? If there was one delivery, how do you think, how are you going to get that wicket, Jofra? What will be your go-to option?
Which batter's on strike? No, I'm asking which batter's on strike because it matters. The balls are different.
So that's an analysing, isn't it? Checking what's going to be the best delivery to get them out. Great stuff. So love this. And actually, I love the fact that actually what you said, Jofra, was thinking almost the opposite of what Chris has done there. So as a bowler in this circumstance, trying to get ahead of the batters, what are they thinking? What are they doing next? So we're going to have another go. We're going to go into our second innings now. And what I'd like you guys to start to think about taking part in the activity is, can you apply some of those ideas? So think of one tactic as a batter that you can bring into play here, one decision, one thing that you're going to apply to keep yourself in. And as a bowler, what can we do? What's our option going to be? How are we going to limit those runs, limit the balls? And as Jofra said, how can we get off the field as fast as possible? How can we finish that game? So over to you. We're going to have 3 minutes worth of activity again. Take it away. So really intrigued to see how Westbourne and May Park take part. Are they gonna apply some tactics here? Are the bowlers going to think as the batter in this situation? Lovely to see in May Park. We've got a list, a few right-handed batters, a few left-handed batters. So it might be that you have to think that your plans are different, bowling to a left-handed batter. We've got some tactical discussions going on there. Westbourne having a discussion with their coach just to think about how we're going to apply those skills. What you might also start to do as well now, guys, if we're taking part and we're repeating this a few times, think about how you might change the activity. So at the moment, it might just be a one-to-one kind of bowler versus batter, but you might think about actually how can we bring fielders into this? So for example, for me, I've got my 2 walls here. I'm going to bring in a new rule that if I hit it against this wall and it doesn't bounce, we're going to pretend that that's a catch. So my aim is to try and stop that ball hitting the wall. So it comes back, and want to try and stop it, play that ball nice and straight back and play it nice and late under my eyes. So let it come in, defend it back. But if I was to try and push at the ball and it goes and hits the wall, we'll call that a catch, call that a wicket. And you can be creative. You can come up with your own ideas, your own rules that you can introduce. So we've got last 40 seconds, lots of goes. Also think about if you're having a think and you're struggling to hit that ball, you could adapt. So we've got the bigger ball here that we can bring into play. It's a bit easier to strike. And when you develop your confidence using this, you can change the size of that ball as well. Last 15 seconds. Brilliant stuff. Well done again, guys. So before we have a go at our final round, we just want to get our understanding. So this last batter stand scenario, I think Chris and Jofra have referenced it. It can be a pressure situation, and the pressure situation, we have to kind of try and find some time out to think about how to manage the game best. And of course, we can have pressure situations in a game of cricket, a game of football, any sport that you play, but also circumstances in your life. And it's about how we handle that, how we use our teammates, our partners to help us and support us through that. Jofra, I'm going to come to you first on this one, talking about pressure situations. Now, I think it's probably fair to say there's no more pressure than a bowler than bowling in a super over in your home country in a World Cup final. Definitely a pressure situation. Obviously, brilliant moment for England cricket, that one. Can you take us back to that moment? How did it feel? And how did you deal with the pressure in that scenario, bowling that super over?
To be honest, I don't really remember how the day went. I knew that it wasn't really severe. It wasn't that nerve-wracking, like, going into it. Like, I probably only got nervous after the ball went for 6, but I was fine up until then. It was fine. It was fine up until then. You've been in that situation a lot of times. Like, even if it's just the last ball of a normal innings, you know, your feeling is the same. I think the only thing that changes is where you're playing, really. But
so would it be something you practiced a lot, bowling in those scenarios, those final overs?
Yeah, well, that's whenever I play white ball cricket, I'm usually bowling either the last or the second last over. And sometimes, like, you're going to lose that situation as well. Like, obviously, we had Stokes a couple of years ago, and now I think it makes you a better cricketer as well. when you've been in that situation and you've lost it, I think you know exactly how to deal with the pressure, one, and you know exactly how to deal with the situation if you lose it again, because you know you'll get another opportunity. So if that hadn't gone my way, we've got a World Cup in 2 months, 3 months, that I'd be training my nuts off just to go and try to win it again this time. So, you know, try not to dwell on losing it too much, because in cricket you'll definitely have an opportunity to make the wrong things. Actually, you know what? Finals day for Sussex, I blanked that out of my memory. I saw it replay the other day, but we actually lost that. I reckon we could have won that, and I think my over went for 20. My over went for like 20 something. We ended up losing the finals day against Worcester. So people ask me all the time, "Oh, what was the pressure like, and how you were so calm about in the Super Over?" But really and truly, I've lost that game even when I didn't think I was going to lose it. So that just goes to show what I was talking about.
Brilliant. So actually, it's a really great mindset, isn't it? So there will be times in life, in cricket, in sport, that actually you're not always going to win. In fact, probably lose the circumstance or challenging circumstances more often than we win. But it's approaching it positively to go, well, you know what? Next time it's going to be me. So that's a great mindset, both for cricket and of course for life. Chris, obviously yourself, you trusted to bowl end of the innings a lot. Do you have any different approaches? So obviously bowling at the death of the innings.
Yeah, it's very similar. It comes with a lot of practice, a lot of repetition, and actually just putting yourself in those situations as much as possible. And as Joff said, you won't always come out on top, but I think if your process and you focus on your execution is spot on, and you're trying to sort of repeat that not only in training but in your games, understanding the key moments in games and trying to come up trumps in them is probably the most important thing. But yeah, and when you do get in those pressure situations, you're just focusing on process, because it's very easy to think about the outcome. But you only get the outcome by going through the process.
Brilliant stuff. So love that. It's controlling what you can. Everything that's within your control, you can control that process. Love that. Right, we're going to have one more go. We're going to put ourselves back into that pressure scenario. But actually, as we said there, take yourself out of it. Be really positive about this. So last go at the activity. And our challenge to you guys at home, we kind of mentioned it as we were having the last round. Think about bringing a new rule into play. Be creative with it. So, for example, it might be that there's a new way to get out. It might be that you earn points. So for every 5 balls that you face, you earn an extra bonus point. So we've got bonus points at play. Up to you what that rule change is, but bring something in play. Have a discussion with your partner about that what that rule change will be. So we're going to have 3 more minutes, our last activity, and then after that we'll do some more question and answers with Chris and Jofra. So 3 minutes, final bit of activity, over to you guys.
Best.
Brilliant stuff. So we've got a few games. So we've got Westbourne, a few games going on in the hall. We've got some overarm bowling going on there as well. Great bowling. Good use to that non-bowling arm to get some accuracy there. Love to see. And as we said at the very start, guys, we've got some special prizes linked into our challenges of the week. So remember, if your school or you were taking part in the Last Batter Stands challenge today, you can submit your scores on chancetoshine.org/NCW21, so NCW21. And you can keep up to speed all of those videos from Heather Knight with some great tips on our others. So we've got some fielding challenges, so catching and throwing, We've got our batting challenge, so our bat tap challenge is in there. And we've also obviously got today's challenge as well, which is last batter stand. So loads of videos, loads of content, and that content will stay there after this week as well. And of course, what we say, a big thank you once again to Yorkshire Tea, our fantastic partner supporting National Cricket Week. So we've got last few opportunities, so just over a minute left. So if you are still in there and you are holding your wicket, then great effort. Bowlers, if you haven't got that wicket yet, what can we do? Can we bowl a bit faster? Can we put a little bit of spin on the ball? Can we think about where we're aiming to try and get that wicket? So really important, we think about those strategies, those tactics that Chris and Jofra spoke about earlier. The last chance to have a bit of a go. So Chris, Jofra, the schools have prepared some great questions for you later. So I think they're going to challenge you with a little bit around your playing experience. I know there's a few in there who want to understand a little bit about your bowling techniques as well, and how we can learn to bowl fast. So I think we're lucky we had so many great questions that came in. The last 10 seconds. Brilliant stuff. Well done, guys. So we can pop those bats and balls and stumps down for now, and we can have a little bit of a breather. Remember, after this session, there's going to be loads of time to have a go. So if you want to practice at home a little bit more, practice at school a little bit more, loads of chance to take part in last batter stands. We mentioned, and we've mentioned it throughout, mentioned it at the start, the theme about this week, so Yorkshire Tea National Cricket Week, has all been about teamwork and reconnection, connecting with our friends. So we want to kind of get under the skin of that a little bit and understand a bit more about teamwork. So we're going to ask Chris and Jofra very shortly about this. Chris, I think we'll come to you first on this one. What do you think makes a great teammate or team player? What is a great teammate to you?
I think a great teammate to me is someone who at times put themselves last. They think about what's required of the team, and they think about what others require. It might be a case of, especially guys who might not be in the playing 11. They're making sure that anything you need, you have drinks ready, jumpers, whatever the case may be. That's actually quite selfless behavior. So I think that's what ultimately makes a great teammate. Them understanding, obviously, your space. I'm sorry if it's getting a little bit loud on the team bus now. Maybe I'll let you say hello to a few.
We got a few great teammates on the team bus, yeah.
Exactly. But no, someone who's selfless, really and truly. Who puts the team first and then self last. And that's as simple as I can put it.
Brilliant. And obviously that's in sport and in life as well, isn't it? So people who put others in front of themselves will be good friends, good teammates. Jofra, is there anything that you'd like to add in to you? Obviously, is there anything that extra that you'd like to say other than what Chris has just said there?
Well, nothing extra. He's hit the nail on the head there, and just to echo it a bit, but you always put the team first. You always put yourself last, and that's all you can do. So you want to be a team player, you got to start with yourself. You can't expect everyone to be a team player and you don't be, because then it might be a little bit of a divide. So, if everyone has the same goal, it's going to be a very, very strong team.
Brilliant stuff. Great. Thank you guys for that. And I think it's really interesting, isn't it, that something quite unique about cricket is that it's individual skills, but kind of played in a team environment. So the last batter stands activity, for example, if you're the last wicket, you're playing with someone else. If you're bowling, you've got a bowling partner at the other end. So that's something quite special about cricket. So we're going to kind of ask you guys that, and we'll come to you, Jofra, first. What was it about, or what is it about cricket that makes the game so special to you?
the opportunity to play with your friends. Well, me when I first started, I started playing at school, so my team was literally most of the guys that I went into first form with up until the very end, and then we ended up all going to the same club. So for me, playing cricket is literally playing with your mates.
Love it. Great. Chris, to you, what's so special about the game?
The chance to more or less show off your skills and have fun with it. Obviously, the mere fact that you started playing cricket in the first place was you probably watched one of your heroes on TV do something really special on the cricket field, and as soon as you saw that, you probably went in your bedroom or went on the park and tried to replicate the same thing. So being able and being in a position to do that on a daily basis is probably what makes it so special.
Love that. So great. I love the idea of making friends, having fun, practicing those skills, replicating your heroes. And I'm sure many of the young ones watching the call today will be taking on board some of the advice, guidance from you guys as their cricketing heroes. I certainly know I'll be taking some of your tips into the weekend to practice with my batting partner as well. As we said, obviously teamwork. We're doing a task this week. One of our activities is called Team for Life. And part of that is about selecting and having the right people around us to guide us, to support us. If you guys could choose one person, and it doesn't have to be someone from within your cricket team, it can be anyone, but if you could choose one person to be in your team for life, who would it be and why? Jofra, will come to you first.
I'm gonna pick CJ because I was at Sussex and eventually playing for England because of him. So I think of him a lot. So I think he gets first dibs on any cricket team I'd have.
Lovely, great stuff. Thanks, Jofra. And Chris, for you, who would be your one person? You've almost got to say Jofra now, haven't you?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, no,
That's
the
fine.
thing is, he actually beat me to it, but I think everyone knows the answer. It'll definitely be Joff. I think, obviously, watching him, the human being and the cricketer that he's obviously grown into has been so special, and to be part of that journey. And also, like, although he's younger than me and I might be being the more experienced player, he's someone that I learned a lot from as well. Just because I'm old, that doesn't mean that obviously you can't learn something off a younger person. And I learned a lot from him as well. And I love the relationship we have. So Jofra is.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys. Love that. So we're going to come to some of the school questions now. We're going to start off with Westbourne Primary. So we've got Reggie. So Reggie from Westbourne is going to have the first question. Reggie, can we hear you? There we go. I think he's coming to the camera. Hi, Reggie. Would you like to ask your question? Who are you going to ask your question to?
Both of you.
Okay, brilliant. Away you go, Reggie.
What's the best moment you've ever had in cricket?
Brilliant. So, Jofra, did you hear that one clearly? Best moment you've ever had in cricket?
It wasn't the Super Bowl, I'd say it was probably the semi-final. The semi-final spell, the first ball that I bowled, I got Aaron Finch out because he got 100 against us in the group game, and I reckon that was it. That started the run of wickets actually, because I think Wootsy got a wicket either the next over or the over he bowled after that one. So, I think that was the start of a really good game because then we batted extremely well also. So that was probably one of the best moments of cricket individually and team-wise.
Brilliant. Great stuff. And Chris, the same question to you.
One of my best moments was probably the first time, because obviously I was born in Barbados, and I went back to the Caribbean to play for England in a T20 series, and it was the first time in international cricket that my family, all my friends, and everyone was watching me live. And I was fortunate. Took a catch in front of the grandstand, hit a few sixes, took 3 wickets. So like that whole day in general, Jofra was actually there as well that same day. I think I gave him a t-shirt that day when he was a lot younger. But that whole day, that whole experience was probably one of my best days.
Brilliant, great stuff. Very proud moment. Reggie, fantastic question. Thank you very much. We're going to go on to Matilda now. So Matilda, are you there, Matilda? Brilliant stuff. So Matilda, ready to go with your question.
How do you bowl so fast?
Brilliant, love that. So Jofra, will come to you first.
CJ is faster than me though. You not seen the guns?
So what is it? If you guys were getting competitive, where we got to on the speed guns? What's the fastest we've ever clocked on the speed gun?
Yeah, I'm definitely not seeing Joff. Joff's touched like 95 or 96 or something already, but fastest ball is probably about 93 already. But I definitely think Joff's fastest, so he should definitely take the lead on this one.
Go on then, Jofra. What's the secret to bowling so fast?
Eating your greens, kids. So listen to your parents and eat your greens and you go as fast as possible.
Perfect answer. Love that. Thank you, Matilda. Great question. And last question from Westbourne Primary. We've got Samuel. Hi, Samuel.
How can I get better at bowling?
How can I get better at bowling?
Nice question, Samuel. I'll just say practice as much as possible. Anytime you get it. It could be in your house, it could be at school. Any single minute you get. Watch a lot of cricket on TV, see who you would like to bowl like and what they're doing, and then go straight away and try and go in the back garden and practice everything they're doing, from how they're gripping the ball, to whether they're trying to bowl slow balls, bowl bouncers, whatever your favorite player, your favorite bowler is doing. Just practice that anytime you can. I know your mom might not be too happy with me saying that about practicing in the house because you might break a few vases and stuff, but literally you'll repair her in the end. Don't worry.
Brilliant stuff. Great advice. Jofra, is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
Well, and just to let him know, he doesn't need anyone as well. You can go do it by yourself. I've done a lot of training by myself, so you don't have to wait on anyone. You can do it by yourself. Sometimes you may even enjoy it more than actually training with other people. So, just as CJ said, every chance you get, go do it.
Perfect. Great stuff. Brilliant questions from Westbourne Primary. Now we're going to move over to May Park Primary. We've got 3 more questions from you guys. So, guys, we've got Aman with the first question. Where's Aman? Can you hear us, May Park? There we go. Hi, Aman.
Did you have people doubting you at the beginning?
Well, great, challenging question, that one. Who'd like to go first? Jofra, can you answer that one?
I didn't
first?
actually hear the question. What was the question?
Did you have any people doubting you at the beginning of your journey?
You want
to go for it?
Yeah, there's always people going to doubt you, but you try your best not to listen to them. You got to keep doing what you have to do, because the people doubting you aren't the people playing the game of cricket. So you got to make sure you do everything in your power that they keep trying to doubt you and you keep improving.
Brilliant. Great advice, Jofra. Chris, any advice from you?
Yeah, never to get angry with it. Always use it as motivation. There will always be doubters. There will always be people who don't believe. But if you have that self-belief, then that's all that counts. So never get angry with it. Just massage your way through it and keep believing in your own ability.
Fantastic. Great stuff, guys. Aman, brilliant question. Thank you very much. Now we're going to move over to Rashan. So Rashan, are you there?
He is here. He's just going to ask it from down here. Go on.
Lovely stuff.
What do you hate and love about training?
So what do you love and hate about training?
Brilliant. Great question, Rashan. So, Chris, we'll come to you first on this one. What do you hate and love about training?
To be honest, I don't really hate much about training. But I've always viewed it. I became a professional cricketer, unfortunate and stuff. So, and even if a scenario or situation might feel tough, it's what's required to continue to make gains and to continue to improve, not only as a cricketer but actually our sport. So it's of such that it improves you as a human being as well. It's very good for building character, and the prospect always of coming out on the right end of those tough situations is what I cherish the most and what I look forward to the most. So I wouldn't say I hate anything about it. I love every bit of it, even the challenging times.
Love that. Thanks, Chris. Embracing the challenge. Jofra, what about you? We'll go to what do you love about training?
The opportunity to ball bounces at CJ.
Great stuff. I'm sure you two had many battles in the nets down the years. So we've got one final question. I think it's from Hussaini. So Hussaini, are you there?
Yeah. Who's the best player you've played with or against?
Jofra, we'll come to you first on that one. Best player. In fact, we'll go. Yeah, best player you played with.
It's hard. That's a hard question.
A great question.
Playing for England, we got 11 match winners. It's really hard. God.
Who's the toughest batter to try and get out? CJ's putting his hand up as me.
No, my ball at AB last year, and I didn't particularly enjoy it, so I say him.
Yeah,
AB de Villiers was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, what about you? Best player played with or against?
I'll go with toughest batter. So one of the toughest batters I ever bowled at is probably Hashim Amla. Only because of the way he manipulates the ball. He never really hit loads of sixes, but plenty of fours, and tough to bowl a dot ball at. But in terms of the most talented cricketer, might sound a bit cliche, but it's Joff for me. I think that his ceiling is so high, sky's the limit. He can bat, he can bowl, he can field, and do everything to a very, very high level. He can even bowl left arm spin, that he will tell you as well. But Joff is definitely one of the most talented guys I've ever played cricket with.
Brilliant stuff. I say that there's a few videos of that left arm. I think was it before the Ashes, practicing it in the indoor centre. So practicing both arms, what a skill to have that one. So that's a good bit of advice for anyone youngster coming through. Remember to practice both sides of the body. Great stuff. Well, guys, that is. Go on, Josh. Sorry.
That should be a challenge for the kids. You got to make them bowl with the opposite hand.
Or like that. There we go. So rest the National Cricket Week and beyond. Can you get as strong on the other side of the body? So if you bowl with your right hand, can you practice with your left? As I'm sure we see with batters practicing their switch hits and hitting the other way. Well, why not have a bowler doing that? Guys, we've sadly, time has flown. We've come to the end of our questions. I'm sure we've had loads more. There's some brilliant other questions from both schools. We've had some online.
I was going to ask if there's any, since I'm on the team bus, very rare opportunity, if there's any England cricketer that anyone wants to say hello to quickly.
Are there any? So Westbourne, May Park, are there any England cricketers on the team bus that you'd like to say hello to?
Yeah,
who's next to you, Chris? Who's just behind you in the background there, Chris?
It's Will.
That's actually our security guy.
If you turn the camera around, who can we see?
Sorry,
So
Tom.
you got Chris Hawkes. Liam Dawson. Chance to shine. David Milan.
How about you?
Jason Roy. Boys on COD.
Brilliant. So we've got
Really?
some fantastic guys who supported Chance to Shine in the past.
Huh? They can see you there. You got Tom Curran. Josh Butler. Chance to shine. And last but not least, Johnny Bearstow.
Oh, yeah, Johnny. Brilliant. Well,
Yeah,
lovely stuff. And what's amazing is that most of the players, that those that are watching at home, the players that you've just introduced us to, Chris, have been brilliant supporters of Chance to Shine in the past. We are so incredibly lucky as a charity, and I'm sure on behalf of us and Yorkshire Tea as well, to have international cricketers sharing their expertise like you and Jofra have done today. So we'll summarise the session. What a special treat for us to actually be live on the England team bus as well, the morning after winning a victory. So, guys, great privilege, of course. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your days, your training programs, your rehab, your practice. Thanks for giving you some great insights, not only to your life as a cricketer, but also some brilliant life advice about teamwork, about working hard. Of course, wish you both the best in upcoming domestic and international programs. And of course, really excited to see you both in the summer in the 100, brand new competition for the first time. And that'll be shown live. There'll be so many opportunities to see that. For everyone watching, of course, a chance to view this session back, all the skills from the week. Must say a big thank you once again to Westbourne Primary and May Park Primary. Guys, can you give us one last big wave and cheer? I mean, fantastic practicing their batting skills in the background. So to everyone at home or to school, anyone watching this back, remember, keep practicing your skills. Remember to listen into that brilliant advice that Chris and Jofra have given us today. And to catch up on all of this week's Yorkshire Tea National Cricket Week activities, head over to the Chance to Shine social media pages, chancetoshine.org/NCW21. So enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend. Hopefully, many of you will be getting out to play cricket at the weekend. And if you do, plenty of great batting, bowling and fielding skills on the show. But from now, thank you from Chance to Shine, and hopefully we'll get to see you again on Chance to Shine live soon. Bye, guys. Take care.
Cheers, bye.
See you guys.